He.
I has battle mechs.
That you do.
So this is the Inner Sphere Fire Lance, which means Inner Sphere mechs, the lower tech mechs. It also means that they're ostensibly designed to fire missiles off from a distance. Now, a lot of the Inner Sphere mech packs, they can be justified as multiple factions. This one, it's really easy to justify it as two, as we will discuss. Normally I'd be going through these by weight class, but I'm going to be doing something a little different today.
Ooh.
So, starting off with this one. This is the longbow.
It doesn't look like a bow.
No, it does not. A lot of the fire support mechs, the super duper dedicated missile mechs, are named for like siege weapons or for like archery concepts. So back in the early days of the Star League, a company called Earthworks made a mech called the Archer for the Terran hegemony. And House MARIK really
Boop.
wanted the Archer, but Earthworks at that point wasn't willing to sell to them. So House MARIK basically went, fine, we'll make our own, with blackjack and hookers. So they contracted with StarCorp Industries, specifically the factory on Emrys 4, if I'm remembering correctly, to make them a big-ass missile mech. So this mech is armed with 2 LRM-5s, 2 LRM-20s, and 2 medium lasers, and House MARIK was really happy with it. Unfortunately, StarCorp has factories with basically all but one of the great houses, so pretty soon House MARIK realized, hey, all of our neighbors have them too. You jerks! That said, it is typically more associated with House MARIK, but it does show up kind of everywhere. So, this mech is a 50-tonner. It is the Trebuchet.
It doesn't look like a trebuchet.
So, this was made by Korean Enterprises at the towards the tail end of the Star League era. Specifically, the Korean Enterprises factory on Stewart in House MARIK. It was originally made with a bunch of cutting-edge technology, but someone was like, it looks like there's going to be a war and it's going to be bad. Maybe we should make this out of cheaper stuff. So the bog standard one here has 2 LRM-15s with not enough ammo, but hey. And 3 medium lasers with not quite enough heat sinks. Those of you who watched the Battletech LP on Surat's channel may remember the name of this mech, because a modified version of this was the Kitten Sneeze.
Achoo.
But you could argue that this is the standard mech for House MARIK, because it's not only produced at Korean, but it's also produced at Irian Battle Mechs Unlimited on Irian, and also, I believe, at Kaliyama Industries on Kalidasa. So they have a whole bunch of factories producing it there. So, the next mech. This is the Stalker.
It's cool. Well, I can't really tell from here. It's almost like it's got a mouth. Like a big, giant alligator mouth.
Yeah, I can see that. This was originally made by Triad Technologies, but eventually Triad Technologies went the way of the dodo, so it wound up being produced at Trellshire Industries in House Steiner, before that got conquered, Defiance Industries in House Steiner, and Irian Battle Mechs Unlimited in House MARIK. Um, it is one of the more common assault mechs, not that assault mechs are very common, and it's of the intro tech assault mechs, you can make a case for this being one of the best ones. It has two LRM-10s, two large lasers, four medium lasers, and two SRM-6s. You can't fire them all at once because you will fry your poor pilot, and besides, there aren't good range brackets for all of your weapons at once, but it basically has a weapon for every range and every situation. It's slow, it's plodding, it's chonky, but we love it. It's awesome. It's one of my brother's favorite mechs, and when I was showing Star pictures of the mechs from this pack, this is the one that she got excited for.
It looks like it's got a gator mouth.
And finally, we have the Zeus.
Does it shoot lightning bolts from its hands?
The original version did. So this is another mech that was made at the very tail end of the Star League at Defiance Industries in House Steiner. The original version had more advanced technology, including like an ERPPC, but due to technological degradation and that sort of thing, the common version at the time of the Succession Wars has an AC-5, an LRM-15 with not enough ammo, a large laser, one medium laser in the front, and another medium laser in the back. Once House Steiner gets some tech things figured out, they start replacing the AC-5, which is not one of my favorite guns, with a PPC, so it does shoot lightning. It's an 80-tonner. People who know Battletech make jokes about the Steiner Scout Lance, because how Steiner has a tendency towards bigger mechs, and they're like, oh, there 4 Atlases. No. That's not what the Steiner Scout Lance is. The Steiner Scout Lance has these, because they're faster slightly. They're still not winning any foot races. You have no business making these, like, recon mechs, but what in the old technical readouts, the notable pilot of this thing was Mech Warrior Self of the Sky Rangers, and he piloted this in a recon lance. Yep. So this is the joke Lyran Scout mech, House Steiner Scout mech. So you've heard me talk about these mechs a little bit, and you've heard me mention 2 specific factions with them mostly, House Steiner and House MARIK. So, House Steiner and House MARIK are neighbors, and they are known for fighting each other a lot and stealing each other's crap. So you could easily justify this either as, like, this is a House Steiner lance, and we happen to steal a trebuchet from House MARIK after beating them up, or you can justify it as, this is a House MARIK lance, and we happen to steal a Zeus from our neighbors after beating them up.
So it's the space equivalent of the Hatfields and the McCoys?
There's a lot of that in Battletech. House MARIK and how, like, you're gonna make me go into all the history of the universe at this rate, but House Steiner and House MARIK are right next to each other. They're both big into business, and they committed many, many terrible war crimes against each other during the Succession Wars. House MARIK was my brother's favorite house as a kid. They're known for being in a constant state of civil war. I liked House Steiner, who are known for being rich, having big mechs, and being painfully incompetent.
You have an LED lamp of them now.
I do. That was one of my Christmas presents. But yes, this has been the Inner Sphere Fire Lance. It's really cool. Maybe I'll get around to painting these things one day. Of course, I'm not sure which house I will paint them for, but that's a problem for future May.
Paint them all purple.
If I want to do House MARIK, that's a way to go.
Well,
they are the purple house. Let me think. The free... I think the Free World's Guard are white and purple, and then the MARIK Militia are purple with blue and red highlights.
Fancy.
Mm-hmm. Whereas House Steiner tends to have blue things, like the Lyran Guard are blue and white, the Nagel Guard are a blue-gray, let's see here, the Royal Guard are blue and gold.
But what if you paint one half blue and one half purple?
I actually think there's a MARIK unit with that paint job. I want to say that's the Silverhawk Regulars, but I'd have to look at that. That's also like one of the Cloud Cobra paint jobs, but that's a whole other conversation. So yes, Inner Sphere Firelance, really cool. These are old mechs I adore. So until next time, robots.
Robots.